Hey, what is going on, guys? Cholo here, and welcome back to where we take awesome out of the box. Now today we're going to be taking a look at one of ASUS's latest and best ultrabooks, the ASUS ZenBook S, or the UX393EA. Alright, so before we get started, let's unbox the ZenBook S or the UX393. The first thing we get here is a carrying case, of course, to protect our very premium ZenBook S. Let's pull this out. So the notebook is in here, but we'll take a look at this later. We got another box in here. So we got the charging symbol here, so I'm assuming that the charger is in here. In here we have the charger, and you cannot disconnect the USB-C cable. They also gave us a USB-C cable for earphones and headphones. Alright, so let's set that aside for now. Here we have the main event. The ASUS ZenBook S is inside this box. So let's open it up. And when you open up the box, it pops up a little bit from the back, just like the ErgoLift hinge that is featured in this notebook. Let's take a look at what's in here. We got the manuals and the warranty card. Of course, you gotta keep this just in case something happens to the notebook. Okay, so let's unwrap this notebook. We got some of the features here, and it is the world's thinnest and lightest 3x2 aspect ratio 3.3K laptop. And there she is. And like I mentioned earlier, there's an ErgoLift hinge, so the back actually elevates a little bit when you open up the screen. All I can say is that is one beautiful slab of tech, and we're gonna take a look at the specs in the video, so let's begin. For the pros, the screen is where it's at. We got crazy thin bezels and a gorgeous 3x2 display with a 3.3K resolution. For the cons, it's relatively heavy for an ultrabook, and it's expensive, which is subjective. You're paying for longevity here and some of the best internals you can get. You saw it in the unboxing. Like its vanilla mid-range sibling, you are getting practically the same box and contents with the ZenBook S. That being said, you get a sleeve, a 65-watt USB-C charger, and a USB to 3.5mm dongle. There is no Ethernet cable included in the package, but based on the target market, it won't be such a big deal, since they'll probably be using it on Wi-Fi anyway. Personally, I've never owned a laptop that I actually connected a LAN cable to. That's usually reserved for my desktop. And besides, when you go out to a cafe, it's not like you can use an Ethernet cable there either. If you place the ZenBook S and ZenBook 13 next to one another, you'll notice that they share the same design DNA. The only key differences on the exterior include red copper accents on the chamfered areas of the ZenBook S's aluminum body. There's also the shape, that is less rectangular than its more affordable vanilla sibling. The latter is due to the 3x2 aspect ratio of its display, giving the ZenBook S a taller display that is optimized for productivity. I've reviewed a couple of 3x2 aspect ratio laptops in the past, and at first, I was a bit confused as to why you would want this. First of all, I'm a gamer at heart, and second, everyone's trying to go ultra-wide, then you have these notebooks that are trying to go more square, which is the polar opposite direction of ultra-wide. Well, that all changed when I started using it for work. You see, there are specific laptops that are made for gaming. Go slap that ultra-wide on that. But when it comes to productivity, it's just so much easier with a 3x2 aspect ratio using stuff like Excel or Word or even editing photos or videos. There's just more on screen, so you can use more tools and you can see more stuff that's going on in your documents. This thing is basically a creativity, productivity workhorse super Amadeus. Because it uses more aluminum than its vanilla sibling, the ZenBook S is noticeably heavier. It is slightly on the heavy side by 2020 ultrabook standards, but I did not mind it at all. There's just this peace of mind that you get carrying this thing around and feeling just how well it's built. It feels very sturdy, and it's like you can use it to defend yourself or something, like a plank of wood. But obviously don't do that. What I'm trying to say is, if you go on business trips abroad, or maybe on vacation, or maybe even a dangerous trek to the nearby Starbucks, you should have no problems at all. This thing can take anything that you throw at it. It is worth noting though that smudges are a little bit difficult to wipe off, especially on the top panel, which is kind of weird because it's not a glossy finish. In fact, it's kind of matte, so I don't know. It might not be a big deal for you, but if it's a pet peeve for you like it is for me, that might be the case. You get it? Case of the laptop? Okay, I'll stop. More on the display, ASUS went all in with the ZenBook S. You get a 13.9-inch touchscreen IPS display with a 3.3K resolution, 500 nits of maximum brightness, and what is arguably the thinnest set of bezels ever in a laptop. ASUS claims that the ZenBook S's screen-to-body ratio is 92%, and it's even more amazing at how they managed to tuck in a webcam and an array of IR sensors for Windows Hello at the top bezel. All this without compromising the overall design. They knew exactly what they wanted it to look like, and they knew exactly what they wanted to have in it. I'm sure they worked very hard to be able to check out all those boxes. Aside from being a bright IPS panel, the ZenBook S has a Pantone validated display that covers 100% of the DCI-P3 gamut and 133% of the sRGB gamut. This thing basically puts my desktop monitors to shame. Sorry guys. And I remember booting this thing up for the very first time, and I was like staring at the screen for a couple of seconds in awe, and I could feel my girlfriend getting a little bit jealous. Like its vanilla sibling, you get the same edge-to-edge keyboard layout with the ZenBook S, with the addition of a red copper accent on the power button. You do lose a few keys on the ZenBook S. The home, page up, page down, and end keys are now on the arrow keys instead, and they are now activated using the function key. If you use these keys often, it might take some getting used to, but if you're anything like me, you never use these keys at all, so it won't be such a big deal. And besides, page up and page down kind of makes sense being in the directional up and down buttons. Well, at least in my opinion. So good move on that, ASUS. You also get the same glass protected trackpad with ASUS's trademark NumberPad 2.0 feature. The rest pad area is slightly narrower than its vanilla sibling because of the tall 3:2 aspect ratio of its display. For audio, you get bottom-firing stereo speakers that are tuned by Harman Kardon. So you know it's gonna be a treat creating media on this, like if you're producing music or editing videos like me, as well as consuming media on it, like if you're listening to music or watching videos on Netflix or on YouTube. Like its vanilla sibling, you get the same set of ports on the ZenBook S. HDMI and two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports on the left side, and one USB-A and microSD card on the right. Like most recent ZenBooks, you'll need to use the supplied USB-C to 3.5mm dongle if you prefer to use wired earphones or headphones. We actually tested this out. Some of the dongles that we used to connect our headphones did not work, so it's good that ASUS included one that works 100% of the time in the package. But then again, 2020 was the year of the wireless earphones. The innovations that came out were kinda crazy. I know, I reviewed them, and dozens or maybe even hundreds came out, I don't honestly remember. And if you want to use your TWS earphones or earbuds, it is nice and easy. As ASUS's top tier offering, you get the best possible specs on the ZenBook S UX393EA. You get a Core i7 1065G7 processor, Iris Xe integrated graphics, 1TB NVMe SSD storage, and 16GB RAM. Those are the best possible specs you can expect on an Intel-powered machine right now, and the addition of an Intel Evo certification. This means that the ZenBook S passed Intel's very strict standards for a modern ultrabook. So you're guaranteed to get a kick out of using this for years to come. And honestly, using this thing for the past couple of days has been a dream. Adding to that, requirements for an Intel Evo qualified laptop include Wi-Fi 6 connectivity, Thunderbolt 4, Iris Xe integrated graphics, instant wake times, and at least 9 hours of battery life on full HD displays. Having an Intel Evo certification also means that the ZenBook S's internals have been fully optimized. This makes it perform better than similarly spec'd laptops that lack the said certification. This gives it an edge over other laptops, but we're gonna have to put it through our usual tests to verify that claim. Watch out for that in our full review. Like all current ZenBooks, you get 65W USB-C charging with the ZenBook S. And it has a fast charging feature where it can go from flat to 60% in roughly 50 minutes. You can get a lot of juice in while you take a shower, eat breakfast, or get dressed up in the morning before leaving. And with the acclaimed battery life, you might not even need to charge it until you get back home. But that will vary depending on your usage, of course. Being one of the latest brands to shift to a 3:2 aspect ratio for their ultrabooks, it is no secret that ASUS wants to take the throne when it comes to productivity laptops. While it is one expensive notebook, considering that it's not a 2-in-1 convertible like its flip siblings, we'll have to do our usual tests to see if it is worth spending close to 100,000 pesos for the ZenBook S. But based on my initial experience using the laptop, there is no denying that it's definitely a beautiful and powerful one. The ZenBook S or the UX393EA is priced at 99,995 pesos. Watch out for our full review. That's gonna be up on unbox.ph. And also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Hit the notification icon if you want to get them updates when we drop them videos. Once again, I am Cholo, and I'll see you guys in the next one.